Welcome back or welcome to Start Somewhere the podcast. I'm your host, Isabel Prestia, and we are kicking things off with our Bingeable Branding podcast series on the show. This is where I am diving deep onto storytelling content and everything you need to know about how you can start to weave more storytelling into your brand, which as a result is going to build a bingeable brand. And what I mean by bingeable brand, I want you to think, what are you currently binge watching on Netflix, on Stan, on Disney Plus, on Paramount, on Insert, or whatever other streaming platform is out there? What is your constant show obsession? The one where you cannot wait to come home to, lay in bed, have a snack, and click play. Maybe you don't have one right now, but I guarantee you have had one in the past where we spend days, weekends, or rainy weather, maybe even sunny weather, indoors binging a series. We're hooked. We're intrigued. The Netflix sign comes up. Hello, are you still there? Yes, I'm still here. I'm just choosing to spend my time binge watching this series. Imagine now if you could map that across for your brand. For your personal brand, for the brand for your product business, your service business. What if you can map that across for your whole entire life, where your persona, your presence is something people genuinely crave, people genuinely want to be around? Well, good thing you chose to click play in this episode, because that's what we are talking about today. This is all about how to take that first step. That was so animated. This is all about how to take that first step to build a brand that people crave. And just to speak on animation for a second, I have the most animated emotions and face ever. There is no, I can never hide. I basically never really hide how I feel. You can see it and you can read it on my face. I was on a call with my mentor the other day. I'm in a group mastermind, and she was speaking about a particular topic to do with sales, and my face must have just said it all. And she's talking, and there's probably about 10 other women on the call, and she's like, Belle, you have done this before, haven't you? I'm like, could you tell? She's like, I could see it in your eyes. I could see it in your face. And anyway, that's just a side note of being quite animated. That's just who I am. It's quite funny. So, okay, let's get serious, guys, although being serious is boring. So this is all about creating that bingeable brand. And I actually want to kick off the episode with shining the light on my epic clients and the cool results they get. I was creating a few posts the other day, and I was just going through some of my chats with my clients. They love to send me their wins and their successes, which makes me so happy. And I've put them together, and this is just some of the cool stuff my clients do. So one of my clients has increased her Instagram story views by 44% with my signature Start Somewhere storytelling strategy. This is an absolute goldmine. 44%. What would that do for your content? Maybe you only have 100 followers, maybe you have 1,000, maybe you have 10,000. What would happen for your brand if your story views increased by 44%? Also, I love that it's 44. Okay, another client had a 40% live masterclass attendance rate with students tuning in globally at 2 a.m. in their time zone. So to give you some context, a 40% live attendance rate is fucking high. Typically, and this was a free masterclass as well, typically you're going to get 20 to 30% live because people are like, oh, it's free, I signed up, I'll catch the replay, and they don't catch the replay. So the fact that she had created such desire, such intrigue to be in the room, and then let's not forget the fact students were tuning in globally. So this was a global masterclass, tuning in globally at 2 a.m. in their time zone. Do you create content? Do you create workshops and trainings that are so hot to be in that people will stay up until 2 a.m. to watch? This was a free masterclass. They didn't pay for this. This was free. Does your content do this? Do you gravitate people from around the world to stay up until 2 a.m.? Like, this just blows my mind, this one here. Because, like, I've done that once for a program I paid for, and that's because I paid for it. However, if I had signed up to something free and it was going to be 2 a.m. in my time zone, unless I was like, I'm obsessed with this woman, I need to hear everything she says, that's another cool win. This one, 200 new subscribers just by posting 3 Instagram stories. So this is all implementing my storytelling strategy. So 200 new subscribers just from 3 short Instagram stories. No 10-page rambling face-to-cam bullshit. People don't care about that anymore. That worked once upon a time. People are busy. People don't care. What would that do for your subscription list if you could just instantly inject 200 new people from 3 slides? You can do that right now as I'm talking. Put 3 slides up. Okay, another one. A 60% growth in her email list in under 3 weeks. Less than 3 weeks. We're growing by 60%. I'm sorry, what? And also, of course, okay, this is another one because we're on a roll now. One of my clients said, my story views jumped from 75 to 135. This is almost double by applying Isabel's Instagram story strategy. So this works no matter, like my client's story views were at 75. This works no matter your metrics at the moment. It doesn't matter. Imagine if your current story views are sitting at 100 and they doubled. What would that mean for your content? What would that mean for your business? Okay, last one, because these just make me so happy. My Instagram story views spiked by 90%. Isabel's storytelling social media strategy equals obsession. It's true. I'm obsessed with my clients and their results. What would that do for your content if your story view spiked 90%? Just saying, storytelling marketing is prime on your Instagram stories as well as in all of your content. So if those wins aren't inspiring you and you're like, oh, give me some of that, gimme, let's keep on going. So this is about creating a brand people crave. Like, people actually give a shit about my client's brand. Clearly, because they're getting results like this. They actually care. There's intrigue there. I'm going to say something at the moment. Okay, so do you know how many people I have muted on my Instagram because I just don't care about their content? You know, people get funny if you unfollow them, or maybe it's, I don't know, you just don't unfollow them for whatever reason. Instead, you mute them. I've got so many people muted because I just don't care about their content. And like, that's not what you want. You want people to crave your content. And it's all a result of building this Bingeable brand that I speak about so much recently. It's learning how to turn your everyday content into binge-worthy stories. This isn't about like restructuring and burning everything down and deleting your thing and just starting from scratch. Like, it's working with what we already have. It's turning those everyday moments into binge-worthy stories. So maybe you are doing a face-to-cam and you're blabbing about something and it's like 10 slides long, and like the real point is like 5 slides in for like 10 seconds and the rest are just filler words and like and and but. And there's just like, there's no tonality, there's no intrigue, there's no depth, there's no desire, there's no like, oh my gosh, I need to go back and listen to that again. It's just flat. You either create this or you've seen it before. So how can we start to turn those everyday moments in your life into this binge-worthy story that people start to know, like, and trust you with? It's because they're sparking desire. And it's like an energetic thing as well. You're drawing in more of these dream audience members, these dream clients, these dream followers, these dream fans, whoever your community are. And it's not about posting 24/7 and changing your font and your logo. It's purely about becoming unforgettable. I shared this in our last week episode. When I had pressed pause on Start Somewhere, sad times, guys. When I pressed pause on the show for over a year, we were still receiving downloads every single day. Every single day we were getting downloads. I have a brand that became unforgettable, which is why you need to get yourself in the masterclass that I'm teaching, where I'm exposing everything. And if you're like, okay, well, I get it. I want some more story views. However, is this even for me? So if you are just over guessing what to post, you're like, what do I post? Oh, so-and-so did this how-to carousel, so I'm going to do the same. No, we don't want generic. This masterclass is only for you if you actually want your audience to feel something when they see your content. You want them to feel connected to you. You're okay with sharing about yourself and your story. And I'm not saying you need to go online and air your dirty laundry and tell every single shitty thing that happened to you in your life. It's about tastefully and artfully telling your story in a way that creates an emotion for your audience. You want your audience to feel you through the screen. Maybe you've attempted this storytelling thing before and you didn't quite get the response you hoped for. So I'm going to give you just the most repeatable method to write these captivating stories. And like I mentioned before, you don't need to come with this most extravagant, heart-wrenching, devastating experience. We can turn the simple moments into something so captivating. And I'm going to challenge your thinking. I'm going to open your mind how you can view these situations in your life in such a different lens. So when I moved to the Gold Coast in May, and it's August now, so time's flying when you're having fun. I moved here and I got settled and I unpacked and I was living my life. And I'm like, my life honestly feels like a movie. Every moment of my life felt like a movie. And I was living very typical to what I was living in Adelaide, just in a different frequency, different energy, different people, different environment, and blue skies and sunny pretty much every day. Just saying, it's the best. So my life, honestly, was feeling like a movie, and it truthfully still feels like a movie. I've created that for myself in my life, and the point I'm getting at here is it's finding the stories, the lessons, the joy in those small moments of your life. In the typical week you have where you're starting your week on a Monday, you're doing your routine, you're going to work, you're working on your business, you're seeing your friends, you're doing your exercise, you're cooking dinner, you're going to sleep. If that doesn't light you up, if that makes you feel bored and mundane and just another day, we need to do some coaching together. That's all mindset stuff. Because when we can find the joy in that, we get to extract the most epic stories that you most likely aren't even seeing because your eyes, your vision isn't open to it yet. And that's what this masterclass is going to give you. It's going to show you how you can start to notice these things in and around your everyday life at the minute. Because they're always around us, stories are always around us. It's just how actively we are choosing to tune into them. It's like you're tuning into your channel. I say this a lot in my Start Somewhere project, which is my mindset and manifestation program, all on tuning into your frequency to create the life that you want. And oh my gosh, that course is everything I did that got me to where I am today. Honestly, I wish I had that years ago. And I speak so much on tuning into your channel. What is the broadcast that you are actively turning on every single day? And so think of it like that. When we can look at it through that lens, we can start to extract stories that you actually aren't seeing, yet they're right there in front of us. Let me give you an example. So this happened just today. Yesterday, I was on my walk. I went to the beach. And I'm just having a bit of a main character moment, just staring out into the water, blue sky, sunny, headphones on, sunglasses, vibes are high, loving life. And as I'm looking at the ocean, it reminded me of the time when I went camping. Side note, I hate camping. I went camping with one of my friends years ago, and it was beach camping, hence why the memory probably popped into my mind. And we were on our last few days, and we were very low on water. And because we were very low on water, we had to cook dinner, and we didn't want to use our water for dinner. We wanted to save that for drinking. And so we were cooking pasta that evening, and I was young, granted. My friend and I were like, okay, we'll just go to the beach and use the seawater to boil our pasta. It's naturally salted. And oh my gosh, it was the saltiest pasta I've ever eaten. I think my Italian grandparents would be mortified to hear that. And the point is, I was at the beach and this story popped into my mind and I laughed. And then I was on the phone to my mum later and she was telling me how my sister was going camping. And then I retold that story that came into my mind and she laughed. And now here I am on the podcast telling you that story. And so do you see how that memory was triggered by me looking at the ocean and having my little moment? And it wasn't because every time I look at the ocean, I think of that story. I definitely don't. I'm at the ocean every day and I haven't thought of that story since it happened. Is because I have essentially tuned myself to see stories in so much of my life and for it to trigger memories and moments and funny experiences constantly and then turn that into content. One of the best side effects all my clients have when they come into my world, when we do marketing consulting together and marketing coaching, is that they never run out of content ideas. They never run out of ideas. And that's because I've essentially taught them how to shift when they're creative and how to enhance your creativity. It's an art, clearly. So if you're excited to know exactly how to do this storytelling I'm talking about, how to build this intrigue and how to magnetize your audience into actually caring about your content and what you have to say, then this is your personal invitation to jump into our online masterclass all about building a bingeable brand. All of the details are in the show notes. There are so many of you already registered. It's going to be such a fun training where I'm exposing everything. I'm not holding back on anything. I'm giving you everything I wish I knew long before I'd started to create my Bingeable brand. And I'm excited to speak with you in our next episode. Bye, guys.